jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Man, that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
You know what I'm saying? WCS back on the boulevard. Once again, you already know it's Thursday. We just a little bit outside the weekend. I know that kind of perks everybody up and say, dang, you know what? I need to go to work on time tomorrow so I can be professional. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all of those that support the channel, all of the boxing fanatics. I appreciate you pulling up. It's not going to be a long extended live, but I'm going to get down to it. Let me share screen right quick. This is the fight news, the breaking fight news once again. You know, WCS, it is my duty to keep you updated with the information that's being leaked or disseminated out here in the YTC. And this time, Ring Magazine has reared itself again. They came out July 22nd, and they came out freaking July 29th now. I'm beginning to think that the Ring has grabbed a couple of strings and they want to puppetize us like everybody else does. You know what I'm saying? That seems like their intentions right there. So let me help you on. Let me show you something that's incredible. Let me show you something that's incredible. All right? And like I said, if you're in the building, hit the like button. I appreciate you. Okay, let me remove this and show you. I'm gonna show you something that a lot of people, I know it haven't been shown on here before, especially talking about this topic. But though, this is gonna blow your mind. This is gonna blow your mind, Charlie. All right. So you see the box rec of Errol Spence Jr., 28 victories and 0 defeats and 22 knockouts. Okay, he has a total of 142 rounds. He's a southpaw, was 5'9" and a half, 72-inch reach. Okay, if you look, this is where magic comes into play. And look, it takes a person like me to explain, you know, in depth on what's shocking about this, right? So if you look at Yordenis Ugas, he fought Yordenis Ugas April 16th, which is pretty much just about a year and a month. It's a year and a month, you know what I'm saying, from today. A year and a month and 2 days. All right. So pretty much he fought Yordenis Ugas on this day. And the incredible part about this whole situation is there's nothing scheduled after the fight. He's been out over a year already, and there is no scheduled fight above Yordenis Ugas. I had to let y'all know this. Now check this out. Not just him, but let's go over here. Let's go over here, right? Hold on for a second. Let's go to the next box rec. Hold on for a second. Let me just type it in there. I'm about to bring up another box wreck. We just all right. This is gonna blow your mind, right? 39 victories out. Pound for pound best in the sport. Total 200 rounds. Age 35. 5'8", 74-inch reach. So when he with BOK Prime, he fought him December 2022, y'all. All right. If you take a moment, arguably, obviously he has less time out the ring from his previous fight than Spence. But if you look above David Avanesian, there's no scheduled fight. There's nothing on boxrec to determine and give us hope that this fight is happening anytime soon. There's nothing on boxrec right now. So I had to pull up both of these fighters boxrec and let you, the listener, know that heading into this weekend, thus far, we haven't heard anything about this fight at all. It's been talked about forever and a day. Now we have, people that we supposed to respect. We thought they was legit, but everybody's up here just popping popcorn, man. They just putting out information on this fight for fun now. They want it to be a joke so much. They just putting out any information. But if you look at boxrec don't have a scheduled fight for these two. It's no date. None. I had revealed the truth. Still to this day, it's no date. And we're on May 18th. There's no date for this at all. Nothing. It is no scheduled fight. Pitiful. No scheduled fight. Everybody fight. You know what I'm saying? And freaking Cool Boy Stephen Fulton, they're probably end up fighting with a delay. Inouye was injured. They'll probably turn back around and step in the ring before we even hear anything about this fight. Oh, who is when and where is going to release the correct fight date info? Who? Because I thought for sure that someone was saying, plenty of people were saying that the fight was supposed to be announced this week. That's what I thought was going to happen. Shout out to the first in the building, L Dog. What it do, man? What's good? What you salute? Appreciate you pulling up. So my biggest question is, as we discuss, this topic over and over again, day after day after day, why are they continuing to do this to these two individuals? Does it have something to do with just basically sabotaging it, or really behind the scenes, like we already know, PBC don't want to fight? You know what I'm saying? Are they just at a point right now to say, well, we need to get the bigger platforms to put out information and continue to get fight fans frustrated, and really for them not to take it serious once they hear the news? You know what I'm saying? It gets to a underlying reality that these guys don't have a scheduled bout on a boxrec. Nothing out there on a boxrec. There's nothing out there on a boxrec to say they're about to fight. With all the personalities that's intermingling with one another, people getting mad, upset, we still do not have a fight date. We don't have a fight date for these people, man. That's the crazy part about it. I know it's not anything new to y'all, but Ring just came out and said that the fight's supposed to happen now, July 29th. Hold on for a second. What's going on, everyone? Salute to you. Big shout out. Shout out to Tyrese. I'm giving up. I'm expecting EJ versus Keith. Hey, man, I'm trying to keep positive light shining. You know what I'm saying? Those um, who refuse to speak it into existence. You know what I'm saying? I'm choosing to speak against the resistance. I want to see this fight happen, but no, deep down inside, in areas where I have no control, there's people out here for whatever the reason is, they don't want to bring this fight to the table and make it fair for both sides of the fighters. You got to make it fair for both sides of the fighters. It can't be extremely lopsided based off one division. It can't. It can't be based off one division and what somebody's done in one division. That's not how boxing works. They don't get into the Hall of Fame based off their last division that they won anything or did anything on. They're not going to, have them do a Hall of Fame speech and say, well, before I retired, I won a total of 8 fights. None of them were championship fights, but I won a total of 8 fights. You know how many fight camps that was? It was extremely difficult for me and my family. I really wanted to spend time with my kids at this point in my career. And that's not the way Hall of Fame speeches goes. They speak about all their accumulative accolades, accomplishments, badges of honor. That's what they speak about. And this fight, it has a lot of badges that can be earned from either fighter. It's a lot on the line here. Pound for pound positioning. You know what I'm saying? Pound for pound ranking. It has a lot. Seriously. We're talking about potential little sponsorships. We're talking about even a bigger fight after this fight. No telling who. Boxing comes out of the shadows into the light with a fight that you didn't see coming. If it makes money, sometimes it's definitely making dollars and cents and everything else a part of it. But this fight has to take the initial step and get announced and have a fight date on deck without so many people just lying on the fight. So I'm just trying to, be persistent in identifying that now that Ring Mag has mentioned the fight supposed to be around about, you know what I'm saying, another circle up, July 29th. And then if it's not July 29th, it's going to be the next weekend and the next weekend. Who wants to go through that? You know what I'm saying? So the weekend after that will be August 5th. You know what I'm saying? We'll be in August. And like I said, previously on my live, we keep on going. We're going to be back in October, talking about the fight going to be in November. It'll be probably November 18th this year. You know what I'm saying? They got to go with November 18th. That's close to the 19th. 19th is on a Sunday, this year. So they got to go with November 18th. It just makes no sense at all, man. This is just absurd. It's chaos. Mr. Pass on deck. Big up WCS. I'm looking forward to the fight. We'll watch it from my rocking chair. Yeah, me and you both, man. That's why I had to put it up there. I think it's going down in 2053. You know what I'm saying? I think it will have taken place by then. Real talk. And I definitely won't give you a freaking fight recap at that stage in my life. At that stage in my life, I will not be on here giving you a fight recap at all. You know what I'm saying? At all. You will be hearing nothing from me. Tyrese says, I see Bud's smear campaign has started back up. Few channels are already blaming him again. Hey, they can blame him for whatever they choose to blame him for. But like I said before, there, Tyrese, these are individuals who are investing their own personal lives into running that type of smear campaign. And what goes around comes right back around. This is not just social media. You know what I'm saying? They can say what they want to say about who's holding up the fight. But ultimately, if you look on the boxrec, none of these fighters have scheduled dates. And how can a guy that's not signed to a promotion have so much power? How can he have so much power? You know what I'm saying? If he's with the infamous Al Heyman can make the fight just like all these other fights we see being made. Canelo Alvarez, Caleb Plant. It was made, no problem. David Benavidez, Caleb Plant. It was made, no problem. Oh, I forgot they ain't black. Then you turn around, Davis and Garcia. It was made. It seemed like everything went well, apart from the little scuffle, a little dust up potentially at the face off. You know what I'm saying? This fight is not impossible to make, but it just has a huge ramification when it comes down to losing those straps. You know what I'm saying? You lose the momentum with somebody that has that many straps on them. You know, and I can't even say in his promotion because he's supposed to be the manager. But the promoter himself, you never hear anything as far as the promoter. You just hear, you know, I like to thank Al Heyman. Why are you not thinking, thanking Tom Brown? You know what I'm saying? There's other people that's supposed to be involved. And if you're talking about the theory of the Ali Act, it's supposed to be other people involved. But I don't hear them thanking them. Say, I like to thank, Tom Brown. I like to thank so and so. No, it's just Al Heyman. So you trying to tell me the man himself, the one and only, is still unable to come up with some numbers to appease Terrence Crawford after him facing David Avanesian? I think he has. Absolutely. Because hey, at the beginning of the day, we all understand that Crawford was on the record as agreeing to everything. And we know when he agreed to everything, right? That included the 35% that they was putting out there, right? So it can't be that he's holding up the fight for money because he was agreeing to take the low end of the stick. You know what I'm saying? He was agreeing to the 35%. So it's really pointless and lunacy to believe that all of a sudden, Crawford is gonna make it difficult. There's something that they blame him for now that he's not willing to agree to, like he did last year. Why? He wants to he wants to fight. He wants to settle this once for all. He's willing to take the lower end because he believes in himself. So that's what it is, man. The other guy doesn't believe in himself. Remember this. No matter how they try to lowball him, it's totally up to Crawford to continue to say, yes, I'll take it. Okay, I'll take it. Until once again, we're at a moment where we drop out of negotiations once again, because just like his attorney said, every time that you check the box on something or one of their requests or demands, they put something else in there. It's something else that goes in there. It's something else that goes in there. So it's never going to be enough. He can keep on saying, yes, I want the fight. Okay, I want the fight. But he ain't going to fight for free. Slaves kind of work for, below minimum wage. But this is something that's a bit bigger than boxing for the wrong reasons. This fight has became bigger in boxing for the wrong reason. People speak on it. They used to speak on it with, vigor, like, I know it's going to happen. I have confidence it's going to happen. But now it's just part of the conversation, as if you're telling a joke. Hey, you got a chance? You got time for a joke? Man, we still got 15 minutes for lunch, man. You got time for a joke? It's a knock joke. Huh? Okay. Okay, you got me. I was gonna do a Spence Crawford joke, but I got it now. I got it. Y'all don't have no personality anymore. No, we just don't want to hear that bullshit no more, man. Get out of here. I'm looking forward to the fight. We're watching Rock. I see the boxing conversation with Bully Owens claims Crawford ruined the welterweight division. Nobody can ruin any division. There's 4 primary sanctioning bodies in each division, right? This one lone division. How can one fighter that has a single belt ruin anything in the welterweight division when just several months before all of this started to pop off, Keith Thurman at one point in time had 2 titles. Who was he with? It was good for Keith Thurman to able pick up 2 titles, right? 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 Right. Keith Thurman was a WBC and WBA world champion, right? So it wasn't impossible for him to pick up a title or 2. It wasn't impossible for Errol Spence to go in the backyard of Kell Brook and pick up a title, right? It wasn't impossible for Errol to then go on and fight Sean Porter for the vacant WBC. And then we finally get a situation that plays out where Manny Pacquiao takes Keith Thurman's belt, is put in the recess to, put him on the shelf, hide him out until they figure everything. Then they didn't reinstate him, did the okey doke, gave the belt to Yordenis Ugas. Yordenis Ugas ended up getting the fight. You know what I'm saying? He was able to get Manny Pacquiao on his record, and then he was able to get the fight to get him paid with Errol Spence Jr. He lost that fight. Because he stopped fighting, period. So now that everything has aligned, all the belts are in place, how can one fighter that watched it all happen from the outside looking in, how can one fighter be in a position as an active boxer, pound for pound, at the top of the pound for pound? How can he be blamed for what he just witnessed? He witnessed Errol win the WBC and the WBA title. So how is he responsible for ruining anything? Because you have one fighter with 3 belts and one with 1 belt. See, that's what I'm talking about, the retardation. That's what I try to speak on this more often. People are out here acting retarded. There's no other word to use. How can one person all of a sudden still has this air about him that people give him more power than they want to give him power? I mean, they give him more power than they want to give him credit for. If he watched that all go down with Spence taking the easy route and which ruined him, right? He watched everything go down, and he did not have an opportunity to fight for any of those belts. How can someone on the outside with less than what that person has ruin anything when there's only 1 more belt remaining? So now frustration comes into play when people continue to lie. They lie with frustration. They lie because Terrence Crawford just won't vacate the title. That's point blank, period, what it is. Point blank what it is. Point blank. They sit up here and talk about aging. Yes, they're absolutely trying to have this man vacate the title so they can go ahead and get him that undisputed that he was promised. It's almost like the same reason that Crawford left Top Rank. He said Bob, couldn't get him to fight when he was signed with them. Well, guess what? I think some promises have been made over there on the PBC side of the house. I think some promises have been made. And they're trying the oldest trick in the book. They trying to stall this man out. They trying to get him to a point of frustration to pretend like they're going through the motions. Yeah, negotiation has restarted. Negotiation, they're talking. Negotiation. That's all we hearing. But they keep on sliding. Demand after demand. If you continue to do that, it becomes evident in what you're trying, what your end game is. Your end game is for somebody to just surrender and say, you know what, I'm out of here. So it can look bad on them, period. But they've been there for the whole duration in the fighting hole, hunkered down, and they say, I'm gonna make this fight happen. I'm good on my weight. I'm good. Crawford gives you all the ingredients and let them know he gives you everything that you need. He's keeping his weight low. He's dedicated. Everything you've heard me say before. But somehow, some way, somebody's out there talking about he's ruined the welterweight division. I'm inclined to say if that person has been a part of boxing for a minute, they must have been drinking on that yak, the same shit that dang Spence was on over there. They must be on that yak, that heavy yak, or that moonshine straight out the steel. Because how can somebody ruin a division? How can one man ruin a division and he has less than his counterpart? He's the B side. How all of a sudden, if you're going to say this man's power is the B side, you have to continue to talk that B side talk from here on out. You need to compare the B side with the A side as having what? Equal. They have to be equal in the power structure, in the leverage, in negotiation. They have to be equal. I don't want to hear nothing else about the B side if all of a sudden Crawford has all this power. If he has all that B side power, he's a bad man. That's a bad man. But we know that's not true. We know that's not true. That's just that retardation sitting there. We got these retards out here that has basically debilitated themselves from hanging around a situation too long, that now themselves they find it, and they're in a degenerate state. They say, "Oh my God, man, this is consuming me. This shit is consuming me. Let me come up with something else. Let me come up with something else." How can somebody ruin a division? A division is just a placeholder where you can visit and you can leave. You can visit the division and you can leave. It's up to you on how you make it up through the ranking system. But you have the opportunity to leave whenever you feel like it. So how can you ruin anything? It's not holding you there. You're not the owner of the division. All it is just right, as I always talk about. It's all about the numbers. That number has a weight limit. That weight limit has, at this point in time, is 147 pounds. It is just a part of the number systems, the metric on how they gauge these boxing divisions and the names that they have in there, and individuals who believe that they can compete at that weight. And that's what we have going on. We currently have boxers campaigning in that weight division, and there's no president of that division. There's no commission of that division. It's no one in that division. You know what I'm saying? The boxers doesn't have control of the ranking system. The boxers doesn't have control of a lot of things that goes on in that division. They're not scheduling their own fights. They're not sitting up here bringing up fighters that's in their gym and manually going in here, logging in. Let me see. I log into that. Okay. He paid me that. That Cash App hit yet? Let me see that Cash App hit. Okay, cool. Let me put him over here in the IBF. Put him up there, number 4, because we want him to fight that guy right there. And then let me see that other Cash App hit. Let me check right quick. That other Cash App. Okay, it hit. So we're gonna put him over here, the WBC rankings. The WBC. How much he even hit me for that Cash App? Oh, that's a little bit more. The WBC. Okay, cool. He did it. I was surprised. He dropped all the money in there. So I'm gonna put him up here in the top 10 in the WBC. You know what I'm saying? And you know, we got them 2 fights scheduled to put them up there for title contention for the interim. Fighters are not doing that, people. They're not sitting up here finagling. They don't have nothing to do with the structure. They're not having their own private secure login and taking fighters that they know and payouts, you know what I'm saying, per sanctioning body. It's not like a store. It's not like a store even. All it is just like a spreadsheet. That's all it is. It provides you with information on the sanctioning bodies for situations that's unknown to us on how they go about the order in placing these fighters in there. At the end of the day, you're talking about 1 through 15. So for somebody like Crawford to ruin something, you have to question the sanity of the person who said it. It makes absolutely no sense. Retardation on this topic is imminent for the next person, and the next person. How can fighter be nothing? Right? How can Crawford be nothing? He can be absolutely nothing. He the B side. He made bad moves. He negotiated in bad faith. But you have him with all this power. You giving this man so much power, dog. How can he be? How can Crawford be in control of stopping the needle from moving? How can you portray him as a person with all this power when you said that he did bad business, he negotiated in bad faith? You know what I'm saying? He's doing everything wrong. He's gonna get beat by Spence. You saying all this stuff. He only got one title. Spence did all the heavy lifting. He's the B-side, B-side, B-side. If everything that you're basically forcing into his space, you know what I'm saying? His boxing space, his professional space. If you're saying all that he's done wrong, from when he was with Top Rank to when he left Top Rank to when he went over there to PBC to attempt to negotiate without a promoter, it didn't work. He fought. He did what fighters do now. He fought somebody. Now he revisited. They say that the negotiations restarted, right? Because they never really stopped talking. So they restarted negotiations. He is still considered what? The B-side, right? So how can he ruin anything? He doesn't have the position to ruin. He's not with the 3 belts. So listen, what is he exactly? You got to make up your mind. Does he have the juice or not? You got to make up your freaking mind. Does Crawford have the juice or not? Because y'all say he doesn't have the juice, but every time I turn around, you're up there bitching and whining and goddamn blowing out hot air and shit, just like a fart. You saying, well, he caused this. Listen to these grown ass niggas, right? He caused this to happen. Oh, because of him, this happened. Because of that, we can't get this. We can't get that. Does the man have power or not? Y'all niggas be bitching too much, man. I know men, look, seriously, it's supposed to be per, when it comes to the medical terminologies, and we're dealing with the male, the genders, and we're talking about the female versus the male physical anatomy. Men shouldn't be up here acting like they on their menstrual cycle, because per that, we don't experience that. Per that, we supposed to not experience it. But it seems like time has changed. I think there are moments where a lot of these guys that are consistently crying about freaking what Crawford is doing, it must be contributed not only to retardation, but also that there are men who never thought they would experience a menstrual cycle. It has to be something different going on, y'all. This shit has to be something different. It has to be something different. It's almost like they are absolutely stalking this man and they are infatuated. They want to live vicariously through Spence. So instead of talking about him all the time and what they call so-called dick riding, they want to act like they're doing him a favor by going out here and spewing all this information, this malicious information about Crawford, to basically somehow be in the good favor of Errol Spence Jr. It's just unbelievable, bro. This is just unbelievable. Andrew Charles, what's good with it? Look, I don't care who switches sides when it comes to either of these fighters. We've seen that happen with channels on here before, switching sides. It's okay. It's not up to me. I'm not up here being the crossing guard directing traffic for this shit. I don't care. But what I will tell you is you need to figure it out. Y'all dudes need to figure it out. Because every other time, like I said, When YouTube is active and it allows you to access this platform, you all are always y'all continue to bitch about new information on what Bud ain't doing. How can Bud be doing all this stuff? You need to put Spence on your tongue. You know what I'm saying? You need to put them on your tongue, bro. You need to put the name of Spence on your tongue and start saying, hey, maybe Spence might be responsible for this delay. If Crawford is showing you, it's crazy, right? It's just like, if Crawford's showing you in the gym that he's working now, he's ready, he's training, he's doing all that, right? And you want to play the fool and act like you blind all the time. You can't say he's not in shape, okay? I say almost 99.77% of these pro Spence fans do not believe that this guy would beat Crawford. 99.77%. They do not believe, based off what they know and what they've experienced with what played out in the media. They don't believe he'll beat him. So what do they have to do? They want to attack him on the business side as if he don't want to fight. It's all pretend, right? It's all about pretentiousness. They pretending to be something they're not, but it's affecting them more than what they would like it to be. That's all it is. They're pretending. They want to portray Bud and paint this damn fantasy that he's not ready for the fight. And one way to say he's not ready is basically business that these individuals are not even attached to, shawty. You're not even close. Just like I'm not close, you're not close either. None of you niggas are close. None of you niggas. If you were close, somebody would leak a document to shut this all down. How easy is it if they have faith and trust and loyalty in you for them to leak a document to you and say, look, this is what I found. That's all. And look, and you don't even have to just be the first one to put it out. If you really want to do it, just put out the document and give it to everybody and have them go live damn near at the same time. A document, they'll never know who received the document in the first place. If you really want to get closure on this, instead of making yourself seem like you need help, if you really want to truly get closure on this topic, find a document from somebody on all these terms that Crawford would not freaking agree to. It's time to call it for what it is, man. These niggas retarded. These niggas are retarded. If you continue to sit up here as a grown adult and play this little childish game, talking about, oh, it's Crawford. This man got so much power, but he ain't the B-side. He only has one belt in the welterweight division. WCS have to call it for what it is, bro. Y'all need to chill with that. And I know it's not going to mean anything just hearing me tell you that. Don't get mad off the retardation. If you get mad, that means I must have said something that has merit. How can y'all continue to involve yourselves in a situation where you just creating lies after lies after lies? That's what you're doing. You're just creating lies. You don't have nothing to back it up, but you want to claim you win in the debate. None of you niggas are debating about shit that you can prove, the huck. Now, you want to talk about how many wins and losses? Okay, cool. But you got desperate ass niggas out here trying to say, you know what? Don't even mention what he's accomplished. Listen, it takes a nigga back like me, right? But when they made world champion, look, they had rules back in the day for individuals who was just doing too much. Just doing too much, man. Basketball players just doing too much. They was stopping my guy from dunking back in the day. It was just too much, man. They said, no, you got to stop dunking. They were stopping the brother from dunking. They say it's too much, man. How are these other players going to win a game if you just lob the ball in to him down low in the paint and he dunking on niggas? So we banning dunking. Hey, they try to come up here and they want to act like, hey, we want to ban y'all for talking about Crawford accolades. This is desperation at its finest, bro. This shit is crazy. I've never heard some asinine pal of Dookie in my life when it comes to boxing media talk. They're trying to restrict information from being spoken on. That's part of boxing. This is retarded. When it comes down to it, you're gonna say, "Well, when it comes to Crawford, we done tried to beat that up as much as we possibly can." You know what I'm saying? To say that whose resume is better. Now that we found out we was full of shit, you know what I'm saying? We was on some laxity tablets. Now we don't want to talk about it. Period. We don't want to talk about it, period. If it's going to be any kind of debate, let's not talk about accolades. So what are we talking about exactly? I spoke on this, man. I spoke on this months ago. I said, if you don't talk about accolades, how the fuck are you talking about the fighter itself? Because if you take them away, they have nothing. This is when they was doing the resume to resume comparison, y'all. The resume to resume comparison back in the day. And they was talking about, oh, Errol Spence has a better resume because everybody that's on Crawford's record, Spence can beat. Everybody on his record, you know what I'm saying? Bud Crawford record, Spence can beat. That was their narrative. He can beat him. But look, they was talking about something theoretically. It's not something they was talking about in hindsight. We didn't know that Bud was going to fight Sean Porter and Kell Brook until it came up. So now that Kell Brook stepped over there, everybody was like, oh man, you know, I heard this one channel say, well, if Crawford don't watch out, Kell Brook, he's a big dude. They want to somehow give Kell Brook praise for going up 2 divisions and fighting that monster Gennady Golovkin at the time. And that experience and getting his eye fractured and fragmented, he was going to come back down here after fighting Spence now. He never fought at welterweight again after fighting Spence because it was tough for him to make that weight, right? Right? Fought the man off an injury, had to get cleared by the doctor, get back in freaking sparring and train for a fight in under 9 months. Was he healthy? Hell fucking no, he wasn't. And you go, look, you go over there and he was on the winning streak of 154 for 3 fights. He go over there and fight Terrence Crawford, right? You know what I'm saying? He gets blasted in 4 rounds. But then you get these dumb light-skinned niggas that's sitting up here talking about he only fight damn orthodox for 1 round. When clearly he changed to southpaw in the 3rd round against Kell Brook. Clearly there's an issue with retardation. Clearly. And then all of a sudden, the one, the only, they was waiting on him. Who else? Because his resume, you know, his depth of fighters on his list is not too extreme now. The reservoir is shallow now. It's not too many names you don't have to run that damn bucket down there too far now. It's not like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, you can't run the bucket down. The whale ain't like that, bro. They bring in Sean Porter and he retires him. Not only that, he basically stops this man 1 round before the round that Errol Spence had landed that left hook and got that knockdown against Sean Porter. He stopped him. He didn't drop him like that. And he get back up and went to the final bell. He stopped him. STOP. Is there an E on that? Let me see. Dan Quayle, potato. Is there an E on the end of stop? Let me see. STOPE. Stope. Stop. Damn, that's some retarded shit. I don't know, man. Let me see. Dan Quayle said there was an E on the potato. POT. I don't know, man. It gets a little fuzzy for me. I'm just saying, dog. They said that Sean Porter didn't train correctly due to his dad and everything else, but they still went in there and collected that check. How much power does Crawford really have with these dudes? Is there some type of infatuation? You know what I'm saying? Like, is this a term that has not yet been, disclosed out here, when men are absolutely infatuated, like they're giving you the perception that it's all about Spence, but really I think the boxer that they truly support in real life, who they are truly enamored with, how talented and how elite and his greatness is Bud Crawford. I really think these niggas support Bud. You know what I'm saying? They really true deep down inside support the man, but they understand that it's going to be a serious situation for them to overcome if they come out and say, you know what, I just can't do this no more. I can't sit up here and push false narratives, like I truly support Errol. He ain't did shit. He's been out the ring a year and a half. Man, I've changed my pick. It's Crawford now. It's been Crawford for a minute. And look, I'm gonna go further. They're up here giving their story. I'm just gonna put it out there. I did a lot of videos over the time, just speaking ill about this man, and he did nothing to me. I'm gonna go remove those videos, no matter how many views that I got. I'm going to remove them because I think it's only right for me to cleanse myself of this contaminant. I have to cleanse myself of this contaminant. This has been like a rash to me. Like the first time I found out what poison ivy was, this has been a rash, a contagious rash. I'm just being honest, man. I'm just being honest. What's going on, Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, some more, man? What's good with it, OG? How you feeling? That Porter narrative is funny. So Porter didn't want to beat Bud and rematch EJ for undisputed. Porter unprepared for a fight. Him and Crawford was obviously, it's been documented that they was friends. But as you look at how the fight was playing out, Porter was doing exceptionally. He was exceptionally doing well. Boxing Crawford exceptionally. It was nothing that you can use to say, man, I was bored doing that fight. It was exceptional. People was like, okay, Sean Porter, yeah, he won another round, y'all. He won another round. They was chiming in, man. If you go back to the time where they was doing lives on YTC, round 1 through 8 and 9, it was like Crawford in trouble. Crawford in trouble. Oh my God, Crawford in trouble, until somebody fucked around from the ring side and say you down on the fight. Now, when you walk into the arena, they don't censor you from speaking. But his facial expression didn't change. He said, okay, now that is a killer. Crawford heard this information, knowing that he was headed into the 10th round, right? There's only 3 more rounds to go, and they're telling you you're down on the cards. This man receives the information and switches start to come on. Those type of switches where you can't see it from the outside looking in. Only he, the fighter, Crawford, can feel those switches turn on and say, okay. It's called levels. He showed that there was more levels to his boxing. And we all know what happened when this man throws away the offensive strategy and goes out there and implemented it in this fight. And he went in there and did it with authority. So much to the point that Sean Porter became extremely frustrated. Now, they can say what they want, but they was always using that toilet paper narrative, right? That everybody on Terrence Crawford resume, Spence can beat. So therefore, when it came down for him to fight common opponents, they brushed off Kell Brook and say, oh, he was weight drained. He was weight drained. But they refused to speak about how broken up he was when he fought Spence in under 9 months. That's just so disrespectful. This man fought a broken fighter in under 9 months, and that's your hoorah, hey rah, hey now. You know what I'm saying? You giving that man all the chevaux that he needs, all the plaudits and everything, bro. He can do nothing wrong fighting a broken fighter that came down 2 weight divisions now. As much as these dudes whine, bitch, and complain and cry all the time about weight. About weight, dog. This man came down 2 weight divisions. You hear, well, look, I was just hearing this. They're making Ryan Garcia do a rehydration clause. And when you lose weight, it depletes or basically reduce the water on your brain. And that causes the fighter to really set themselves up for a dangerous outcome if they're not able to go in there and keep the momentum in the fight. If they're not able to go in there and dictate the pace, and it can be dangerous for them. Once the fight starts to break down, that reduced water on their brain, they can get knocked out. And we're talking about coma. What happened to the water on the brain when Kell Brook came back from 160 to 47 and fought Spence? Were y'all talking about water on the brain then? I didn't hear none of you niggas talking about nothing except, oh man, Spence going over there in the backyard and fighting this dude. I didn't hear none of you all saying shit. It was, Spence get his title shot. Yeah. He going to fight the IBF titleists, and they was going neck and neck, mano a mano. You know what I'm saying? Punch for punch. Y'all wasn't talking about no water on the brain. Man, it's crazy, man. I can go all day with this shit. But man, it is what it is when it comes down to it. I showed you the box rec. Y'all. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's something else that's missing. Maybe it's something else that's missing. Seriously. Maybe it's just something else that's missing that my detector cannot locate. Maybe that's it. Because Spence said strap season, right? Are we still at strap season right now, or is man down? Because when he was basically running his hand around his waist, right? You remember when he was doing that? That was supposed to be the strap season sign that he was going to get the belt and stuff. What happened to the strap season? I've determined over a period of time that thinking about this strap season, looking at that fitted, that it's quite different than what I originally expected. Real talk. I just can't, for the life of me, figure out why that WBO has become extremely difficult. So maybe you was talking about this strap season.
Okay, back to me. I'm sorry. Go in your room and don't come out.
Now, what season was that again? I'm just saying, like, what season are we talking about? I'm just curious. It used to be strap season, but now we found out within the strap season, it was all about the easy route. You know what I'm saying? So, did you fall within the guidelines of strap season? If there were any guidelines, you picked up the straps. You did. You picked up the straps. You did. You picked up the straps. But if you was able to get 3, how can you not get 4? If you was able to get 3, why are you not at 4? Why haven't you stepped in the ring to get the 4th? If you was able to get 3, why haven't the business aspect of it, came to a reasonable agreement where you and your B-side opponent, Bud Crawford, can sign the contract with all the details agreed upon from both parties, not just putting it off on Bud now, because it's funny how they say he agreed to everything, but he didn't sign the contract. What about EJ? Did EJ agree to everything? Or you all gonna put this off on Al Heyman? Y'all need to make up your fucking mind, bro. Like, is Al Heyman the man or not? Yes, he is the man. Is Terrence Crawford negotiating with Al Heyman or Errol Spence? More than likely is Al Heyman, right? So y'all need to make up your mind on what he's not doing. Because just like EJ doesn't really know every conversation that Terrence is having with Al, you all don't know shit about the conversations that he having with Al. So since you don't know nothing about the conversation he having with Al, imagine how Errol Spence feel. He don't know shit except what Al tells him, bro. He can't sit up here and say, "Hey, Al, let's get with Bud and see can he bring back those hedge funds, man. The year's ticking away. I mean, I got a whole freaking farm out here now. I seen the first 2 ribs of some of my livestock out there, man. I got to keep the feed going. They cost. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to run my credit all the way up, but I got to step in the ring somehow, some way, man. They talking about Vada. If we're gonna be able to work this around Vada, man, come on now. I need some answers, man. We're gonna be able to work this around Vada. I got Victor Conte hit me up saying that Crawford's already agreed and all that. But I thought you was gonna take care of that, man. These pro Spence supporters are not going to speak on all this, but yet they want to debate. They want to debate old stuff, just old, irrelevant, unimportant information. You know what I'm saying? He said strap season. You can count the 3, but you can't count the 4. You can count the 3, but you can't count the 4, shawty. Seriously, you can count the 3, but not 4. You can collect 3 belts and not 4. You can, man. It's gonna be difficult because you took the easy route. Sometimes, and many of times, you always hear these speeches, these motivational quotes. Like, it's better for you to experience something with difficulty initially to know what it's like, to make it easier. You know what I'm saying? On that road, you know what I'm saying? Whatever road you're traveling to get to where you're trying to go, the experience is everything. Sometimes it's better to experience the difficulty in anything that you got going on because it teaches you things. Maybe you would understand why I said the easy route ruined Spence. It did. To this day, it ruined him because he never thought about the day that would come that he had to get the WBO title. It was all fun and games. He's up here, crashing cars all over and over again and still going out to the club, partying and all that. It's a point where I said in a live right, I wish, I can bookmark some of this stuff when I was talking about it. I remember saying that no matter how many belts Spence collect, when he sleeps at night, when he's out, he's still thinking about that WBO title. He can think about, okay, I got to fight Sean Porter. You know what I'm saying? I beat Sean Porter, whatever. I celebrated off Sean Porter. I got 2 belts, but I still got to get the WBO. He was feeling some type of way before he even fought Sean Porter, knowing that he was taking the easy route. So he went in there and he fought life and limb with Sean Porter. He got the belt. All right. Then he turns around and he was trying to, figure out who he was going to be fighting. Was it going to be Manny Pacquiao? Who was going to fight for the WBA? He finally found that out. All the way through training camp, which he didn't want to be a part of. He even said to himself, he said, I got 8 weeks to train for camp. I'm still going to go out and party and do what I got to do. Right. So then you look at it like this. He still had the WBO title on his mind. He knew by taking the easy route, he still had that one title to get at the end. You know how you have all these freaking superhero movies? You have all these combat movies, especially these martial art movies, where they'll take you through a gauntlet. Boom, boom, boom. You fighting, pop, 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 bing, bong, bing. You're fighting, and then you get to the end. Mortal Kombat, you face the man. That's where you at. That's where Errol Spence is at. He always knew that Bud would be there waiting. Now that he know that Bud is not agreeing to capitulate, he wants to stand firm until he gets the shot. Even though the declaration that was made and put on his manifesto was EJ's manifesto was to become welterweight undisputed. He's been on record, y'all, as complaining about being at the welterweight division for the longest time and how hard it is for him to keep his weight off. He needs to be at 154, but he refused to vacate the titles. That is the crazy part about it, man. They're riding around in this space capsule and they're asking for information here on Earth. Has anything happened down there yet? Has he said he was going to move up to 154? Over. Space Odyssey, Echo Juliet. That would be a negative. Nothing's changed down here. Continue with your flight. We'll let you know if any changes or any news break of Terrence Bud Crawford vacating that WBO title. Okay? Enjoy your flight. They're up here flying around waiting for Bud to get off that WBO title. And then they think coming up with all these damn lies on him, it's going to change the fact that we already know they're trying to stall this man out. They trying to age him out. They trying to hope he get frustrated and vacate the title because he's 35. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, bro. This is pathetic. This is crazy, y'all. This shit is crazy. Oh boy. Man, y'all hit that like button for your boy. Appreciate you. I surely do. I appreciate y'all. Big shout out to the supporters as always. Bud, look, they trying to age this man out crazy. So let's think about this. It's May 18th, right? This man is 35 years old and his birthday is in September 28th. So we're looking at June, July, August, and we right there September, y'all. So we're talking about a little over 4 months before this man turns 36 years old. Being that he stepped into the ring, look, he stepped into the ring in November 2021, turned 35 last year, and stepped in there and fought David Avanesian just to stay active with his hands. You know what I'm saying? Just to stay active with his hands and also to earn a paycheck because he is absolutely a combat contractor. He has to make his money. So him turning 35 and stepping in there with David Avanesian was a very, very smart move because when you look at it, they wouldn't have had nothing to say if Bud wouldn't have got that fight and Spence delayed it like he's doing now. They wouldn't have had shit to say. They would have said, well, Bud has been out the ring for over a year and a half now. Oh my God. Bud has been out the ring close to 2 years now. Oh my God. That's bad on Bud. And then in the meanwhile, they would have said, oh, I'm glad that Spence, you know what I'm saying? Spence fought in April. He hasn't been out the ring that long. You know, Bud is old. He got ring rust. He's gonna get stopped. No, that's not the case. That's why he stepped in the ring, so it wouldn't be that conversation, and he won't be considered an inactive fighter. But just so y'all know, his birthday is September 28th. I remember last year when people was, you know, talking about when he had his 35th birthday and everything, they was talking mad greasy and talking about he's aging, you know, he's getting older and all that, and it's gonna be easier for Spence to go in there and get this belt. Well, what is going on? Is that an accolade too? Yeah. Or that counts? Is age an accolade? Are y'all blaming him for turning 35? Hey, next, y'all. These cats gonna be talking about, well, I know it's no age limit or age restrictions on as a champion, but man, this is too much, man. He's too old to have the title. He's too old to have the title, y'all. This man is too old. They're gonna start talking about, oh, this man is too old, man. If you over 35 years old, they should strip you of the title and you should be forced to move to the next weight division. He's holding up the division because of his age. Stop it. Stop it, bro. Stop it, man. Stop it. This shit don't make no sense, man. This shit don't make no sense. Bill's Boot Camp, what's good with it? It's inactive season. Yeah, good one. I like that. I like that. It's inactive season. Yes, sir. It's inactive season. Dude has been inactive. But what we do know is that they said announcement was going to happen this week. I haven't heard anything. So that's why I had to show you all the box rec earlier. It's no scheduled fight as of yet. I know they can go in there and start a typing, you know, and then they can put it in there. I'm not worried about it. They can put the shit in there whenever they feel like it. But all I'm saying is I showed y'all the box rec. And at this current moment, if you look at your watch right now, there's not a scheduled fight for this. Okay? It's not a scheduled fight. That's all I'm saying. It is not a scheduled fight yet. I'm not saying the announcement won't happen, but every time a fight comes up, people want to pretend like it's going to be announced on a freaking fight. So now they're thinking and trying to insinuate, well, for the Haney Lomachenko in Vegas, Haney Lomachenko in Vegas, the fight's going to be announced. Bro, come on, chill. Chill with that, man. Pay attention. I've determined over a period of time that thinking about this strap season, looking at that fitted, that it's quite different than what I originally expected. Real talk. I just can't, for the life of me, figure out why that WBO has become extremely difficult. So maybe you was talking about this strap season.
Okay, back to me. I'm sorry. Go in your room and don't come out.
Now, what season was that again? Strawberry season. So I want everybody to keep hope alive. Strawberry season, you know, them strawberries looking very delicious and as a red texture, very juicy. And then you know the whole deal. You can lace them up with any type of premium chocolate that you choose to order. And let's keep close, but not too close to this situation. That's all I'm saying. Stay close, but not too close, because it's nothing on boxrec. And then they want to hit you with, okay, it's going to be announced this weekend. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be announced this weekend, which we all know that we fell for that particular carrot before with Garcia and Davis. We fell for it before. We sure did. Not me per se. I'm saying we, and talking to the audience, we fell for it before. They say, oh, the fight is going to be announced. And then Espinosa came on here and say, no, it's not likely. No, they still have some areas to cover in the negotiation. And look, by the way, for those of you that continue to say that Crawford's holding up anything, let's just say if he was holding up to negotiate his worth, what are you going to do about it? I'm just saying, what are you going to do about it? You can talk about it all day long and make all the, oh man, Crawford did this, that. What are you all going to do about it except talk? Are y'all going to go up there and protest in Omaha? Are y'all going to get in your vehicles and go? Are y'all going to get on a plane and go over there and protest in Omaha for him to make the fight happen? I hear that he'd be out in Vegas now. That might be better for you. I hear that he was out there training in Vegas. So you have people to tell you, hey man, Crawford over here training on deck. Why don't y'all catch that man over there? He was just at the fight, wasn't he? Wasn't he just at the fight card? Don't they have that video of him circulating? He's walking out with his boy Kenneth. Wasn't that him at the fight card, bro? That was him, right? At the Rolly Romero fight card. So it's ways to find out where he at. I mean, he's out there training. It's no secret. He's out there training. But hey, it's been a pleasure, man. We shall do this again. As always, turn up and tune in the world.